video. Cool. You're going to leave that there, Rose? Oh, yes, probably not a bad spot for it. Yep, that's probably right. Alright, we'll just see if I can break this.
You put it that way, you can put it the other way. It's supposed to be better.
Yeah, you might just have to keep an eye on it. It is recording, isn't it? It's got the red light on.
Yeah.
There is a red thing there. Yep.
We can assume.
Just keep an eye on it, sometimes it turns off. Okay, so the lid's obviously on a little. So you've used a tool, just put it on the corner and you just sort of, just wedge it in, just give it a bit of a wriggle and it should pop up. And you try to lift it up away from you. So you want to grab it, say at the front, or you can grab it and you can lift it this way. You just lift it up so you haven't got the bees coming straight up at you. That's it, just gently like that. And then you have a look on the lid, you'll have a few bees. Yep, one got me.
Get stung, did you?
Okay. Yeah, so what you can do is you put that down against the, put it over here next to the front of the hive. Just like that, so it leans up against there. So if they want to, they can try and walk back up into there. I think I will put these on because knowing me, I'll probably get stung and I don't really feel like being stung today. So we'll see how they go. I don't know if they'll have a lot of honey or nectar, but I mean, they've been here for what, about 3 weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
Yep, cool. See how the smoke is going. Real well, but anyway. Smoke up front. There's not a huge amount of activity up here. I'm assuming that they haven't started up here yet. I was kind of hoping they might have been by now. So if you get the J end, that's the J hook, and you can do is you just hook it under there. These might even just lift out, but if you could do that, yep. So they're not really stuck that hard. So if you lift that out, so they haven't really done anything. They're just wandering around on there. So plenty of foundation still in there. I haven't done much, so we'll end up going down. Oh, there's one of those beetles. See one of those beetles? Just squish them. That's all right. So I'll just put that in there. Yeah, so most of this is probably going to be empty. They may have a little... No, it doesn't really look like they've even started on them. But that's all right. Still a small colony. A couple of more beetles there. We can get rid of them. Yep, squished another couple of beetles.
I've got quite a few on this one actually.
Yeah, that's alright. So yeah, the little beetles, you want to squish them. Yep, you don't want the beetles. So we'll get into the bottom and have a look. It might even be that we probably put this on a little bit too early, but I thought they would have been right when Jeff was here with us the other week. But they haven't even started on them. Well, we won't be taking any honey today, I don't think.
The beetles has another one.
That's all right. Got a couple up there. Yep. Cool. What we might do, we put that one back in, we could probably pull the whole box off for now. So what I'll get you to do, grab your tool again. Now, you see there's a metal through here. That's your queen excluder, so you go between the metal and the top box. And just give it a bit of a wriggle. Yep, that's it. I'll lift that up. These off, they'll go a bit berserk. Alright, so put that on there for now. There is a lot of beetles in there, man. Alrighty. Beetles are moved in.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Oh, look at them all. There's a lot of beetles there. Alright, let's throw that smoke. The only problem with the beetles is they just get in. And it could be that there's a lot in this area. There's not really a lot you can do. You actually watch them, the bees are actually chasing them.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so like I said, they'll get them out if they have to. So I've not seen so many beetles in so long. See how they're all coming out? That's because the bees down the bottom are chasing them up and out. Oh, they're everywhere.
They're There's quite a few of them.
You've got a beetle problem. Alright. Alright, so what we'll do, you put just under this edge again, same thing, you just pop that up and you just gently go along the edge. That's it. Because what they do is they stick it all down. So here it comes. So I don't see the queen here anyway, but we just be careful that she's not on there anywhere. I'll just put these bees back in. We'll let them hop off. Okay. I can't see the queen. She's a lot bigger than the others. She's almost twice the size. She's longer, I should say. She's not fatter. She's definitely longer. Okay, now we're into the brood part. So, you see they've done a lot of work. See how they expanded this all out?
Quite a bit.
We can do a bit of playing with this too, because we have these other frames here and they haven't used them yet. We can trick them into doing a few things and making it better for us and for you getting honey. So if you put your tool between these two on the flat section and just sort of twist it a little, and that'll push this over just a little bit, that's it, and then this end. Yep, okay, then you get the J hook and hook it under there. Right, now if you grab that, yep, and then you gently grab it, and then you might have to do that end as well, just to get it up, to lift that end. Excellent. Just gently bring him up, that's it. Yeah, we'll have. I'll have a look and see what's on there. I'll give you a hand. You drop it. Cool. Let's have a look. So, on the, what you got on that side? I can't see. Okay, see, see all this up here? This is all your honey that's been capped.
Yep.
Right, because that's all your wax capping.
Yep.
Okay, all this in here is obviously all open capping, and that looks like it's all glistening, so that's all full of honey. We can nearly cheat with this.
We'll just cut it out.
Well, you could if you wanted to. But what we'll do, just make sure I don't see clean. Of course, I've got my sunglasses on, not my reading glasses. I'm not going to be able to see them very well. This way. Queen's usually not on a honey frame anyway. Yeah. So what I'm doing, I'm sort of turning it like that. These frames in the bottom, they don't have like those ones with wires through them.
Oh yeah.
So what happens is if I lift this up like that, what can happen is the weight of the honey will make it fall out. Oh, there's another beetle. Got it. Another one there. Chase that one through. Yeah,
Quite a few of them.
Yeah. It's just because you've got lots of beetles in the area. I mean, we could put beetle traps in, but that's why I've got that tray there too, so the bees chase them out. Yeah. If you ever want to get bees off the frame, I'll show you. Just stand there. You can brush them off with a brush, or this is the only time you shake them violently. You just, right. They get a little bit spooky. So you can see there's all empty cells here. Okay, so but they're storing honey because it's an outer frame. Yep, on this side of the frame. So they're using this as a honey frame. Look, there's one in there having a feed.
Oh yeah.
Look at all those beetles on them. Wow, look at them. That's because we've opened it up to disturb them. And the bees have taken off, so they're all running like wild trying to say, we can get into here. Look at all this. Okay, so see how it's also got this slightly darker comb?
Yeah.
Okay, that's had brood in it at some stage, whereas this is all white. It's only ever had honey in it. That's how you tell the difference. Now, what you can do, because this has got honey in it, if we wanted to, we can put this in the top, and then they will make them come up to try and store honey in the top, okay? Which we feel we can do today, and we just put a new fresh frame in the bottom.
Yeah.
But what I'll do is, I'll probably put the fresh frame closer to the middle. Try and get a couple of those nice bits off. Don't like beetles. Look at them come out of there. Oh, everywhere.
There's actually a lot in that dust. So
Yeah.
I
You can get in with a little tool, yeah, you can scratch that in through there. Yeah. Without squishing the wax too much, that's it. That's the way. Look at them come out. So when we put all this back together, it'll give the bees a reason to come up here as well. See how they built that out a bit funny there? What you can do is you get your shears, and you see the side of the wood. You can cut back to the edge of that wood, roughly. Cut it back here. You'll probably lose a little bit of honey and stuff. You can just cut that piece off. Or you can take the tail off and try and hit it. So what it'll do now is they'll fix that up. They'll come and fix all that tail. And then that way when the frames are all close together, hopefully next time they won't build it out quite as far. And sometimes you have to do that. So do it for that. You can eat it. It's like chewing gum. Not like to take the bar off. Yeah, watch out for the bees. If you want to go over there, yeah, if you pop over there. You can find the zip. You right?
Yeah, I got it.
Got it? Pop that in your mouth. Don't take your gloves off. You just pop it straight in your mouth. You're just chewing it like chewing gum. Put your lid back on so your bees don't get on your head or anything. You're right. Okay. Last thing I want to do is end up getting this stuff.
Where's the second one?
Oh, okay. I'll spit that out later when we're finished if you want. Just like chewing gum. Tastes nice, honey?
Yeah, it does taste pretty nice.
Yeah. Bit of honey in it. So now what you can do is you can tell mum and dad, hey, I've already had the honey. You're not getting any. Alright, so if you come over and use your tool, you can just get some smoke on these girls. And see how they run? What they do is they're going down to try and find the honey to get away from the smoke. So you do the same thing again, you put the tool in, just move the frame over a little bit. Yep. Same thing again, you can pick it up. And you'll find there must be a bit of weight in that. Yeah. I'll grab it in the middle just to help. Let's have a look what we've got here. A lot of honey on that side. There's a lot of honey on that side. Another frame that's all full of honey. So because this is all in the middle, see how it's not attached on the side? There's a little bit there. And on this side there's probably just a little bit in here. So if you flip this up, like I said, it'll almost like try to put a few. See how I'm wobbling up? You watch the bottom of the frame, it sort of moves. So you've got to be careful. If you flip it, it can fall, and you can drop the whole lot on the ground and you lose it all. So you sort of turn it that way if you want to turn it up. You don't have to do that, it's just if you're looking for certain things. I do it a lot because I'm always checking them and seeing what they're up to and everything. So we're chasing those things out again, that's good. So what we might do, we'll put this one back in. And so I'm going to put this one, for a little girl. Unfortunately, sometimes you lose a few. So we'll just get this frame roughly where the other one was. So we're going to use this as the outer frame now. Okay. And we'll just go through, check them, we just keep bringing them across. And what we might do is we'll put one of those empty frames in the middle and the queen can then use it to lay on again. We'll give her some more space. So yeah, same thing again. Shoot them away. If you feel confident, you can pick the frame up without the tool, but it's easier to get your hand in under there, which is good. Yep. This way. There we go, up nice and steady. Alright. Gets a bit stuck, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now I can't. There's one buzzing right near my ear. Put that there. I'm going to just do this gently. So I'll just brush these off. If you come around here, actually come around behind me, so you're not in front of the beehive. See these cells here? See how they're a little bit different in colour to the honey cells? These are your brood. They're the ones that have got the larvae and all the worker brood, okay? If they were drone brood, the boy ones, they would actually be sticking out like little bullets. They'd be quite big, they'd be sticking out, and the cells are much bigger. These are quite small. Okay, so that's a little bit of brood there, not a lot. Check on this side. You can just do this, I'll just gently move. That's why you wear gloves. You can do this with your fingers, but you do have the chance they will sting you. As I said, I decided, no, I don't want to get stung today, so I'll put my gloves on. Cool? So that's pretty cool, eh? You've got all that honey across the top. So all this honey that's in here, they obviously use to feed their own bees.
Yeah.
The excess honey is what they put in the top. That's what we can take away. Okay? So that's cool. So you see the brood there. See how this is sticking out here as well? We'll just gently put that. If you've got that bee tool again, now I'm not going to eat it because I'm used to having honey all the time, so I'll just cut a little bit of this away. So, just because it's sticking out a little, you don't have to do this to clean it up, and you can leave it, but you're going to put another frame in next to it. We don't want to get it all squishy up. So just gently put that in. Probably should put that hook on there. Down in there. That goes down in there. And if we just push this up against this other frame, and if you have a look at the bee space, they don't have a lot of space there. But this frame was next to this one originally, so that should still fit. See, it's having a feed. That's the honey that I left there before. I might do put some of that on here. Shouldn't really, but I will. These will take care of that.
Might just spit out this bit of wax.
Yeah, you're right, mate. You're right. Not a problem. We'll continue with our exercise. Hello, Rose. Are you having fun? I notice Rose doesn't speak very much. Just wants to get all my bloopers on tape. All good? Sealed up? Okay, I'll get you to go again. Same thing, next frame, just bring it across so it's out of the way. I'll pop around that other side there a little. So you can work on that side and I'll work on this side. That's nice and loose. Now, if you can pick it up just with your hands. You don't have to use the tool. You can see I've got rid of the bees off the top here, so you should be able to just put your hands on there and just grab the wood, not the actual comb if you can. Yep. Okay, same thing again, nice and funnel up. So have a look, what do you got on that side? Is it all honey again? Is it a little bit of brood down the bottom maybe?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Not a huge amount, but I would say I've got my other glasses on. I think in here there may be eggs or larvae in these cells on this side. See if there's, but you can see that there's a lot of open cells.
Yeah.
So she's got plenty of room to lay. Have a look at this side. Oh, they're all going to fall off. See how they're all getting there, clustered together. Field bees are the ones that usually fly off. The ones that stay on the frames are usually the house bees. So
one's having a feed on the honey on the thing.
Yep, that's it, they will. They won't hurt you, they won't do anything.
No.
So these are all your cells here, your brood cells. Rose will have a bit of close up here because I have the camera right here on my chest. And I always forget it's there, and I'm usually pointing at the ground or the side of the box because I don't aim it at anything. It's just attached to me. Cool. So how cool is that? So they're all your little baby bees in those little cappings at the bottom.
Yeah, there's some honey in here that you haven't.
The honey? Yeah, cool. Alright, so what we'll do, grab the smoker. Just do this. This edge. This edge. And if you gently put that one back in. Yeah, they're all over my hand, they get the honey off it. That's it, nice and steady. You might want to grab here in the middle with one of your hands. Oh yeah, just like that with your fingers, yeah, that'll work. And just gently go down, that's the way. And then you push it up against that frame. That's it. probably almost could get rid of taking that other one on, but we'll leave it on there. So same again. Have a look. That's it. See how it gets stuck on these edges? Yep. That's actually like tree resin. They call it propolis, and it's a mixture of the beeswax and tree resin. And the bees use that to close all the gaps up, and it's also like a medicine for them. It keeps the beehive clean. A lot of people take it all off. I don't. I leave it on because the bees put it there. Obviously, it's there for a reason. You see it's all sticky on this edge.
Yeah, it's what they stuck the top with.
Yep. So if you carefully lift that up, don't tip it. That side's got a lot of brood on it. Lots and lots of those brown-looking cells.
Yeah, funny.
Yep. So I'll do this. Yeah. So one frame, both sides completely full, 9,000 bees.
9,000 bees.
So there's potentially 7,000 bees going to be born out of this. What's on this? So on that side. So if I get hold of this like that, yep, a sec. Yep. Okay, so if I turn that round for you, see all that there? Now I don't see your queen. Now I think the queen has a little dot on her back as well, which makes her a bit easier to see. I think it's blue for this year, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to go back and check my notes. She's usually hard to see. Now if we don't see her, but like we've got all this brood and there is little grubs down in some of those cells, so she's definitely been here, and I think that other one that we looked at had eggs in it. So there's a good chance she's obviously here. She's very good at hiding. But I don't think Jeff's seen her when he was here last time. This one I'm not going to move across. I'm just going to sort of sit it between the two frames. Housefly there. Yeah. Okay. So same again. If we want to get off my smoke as well. It's not a safe place for you. Same thing again. So they seem to have their brood on this side of the box more so than the other side. That's alright, they'll change around as they go. So same thing again, on a high beetle, that. So gently lift that one up again. Gonna bring my camera a bit closer, Rose. Squirt, disperse them a little. Usually always put the honey towards the top and the edges, and it also acts like an insulator to keep the hive warm and cool in summer. Same on there. Down in here there's a few little grubs, there's a little white. I'll take this. You have a look down there, there's some little white grubs.
Yep.
Okay, that's the larvae form. Okay, that's before they turn and make a cocoon and turn into a bee.
Oh, yep.
The little larvae stage. That's pretty cool. Like that. Love looking at these. And I'll just see if I take this over and show Rose the camera. Just take some of those girls off. Can't really see her. I don't like taking frames too far away because if the queen's on it, she falls off. She's out of the hive. It's very difficult for her to get back in. Go and stick this on top of Rose. No, I better not do that. That's good because I can look through my camera and see what's going on. So it has hatched. A lot of bees have hatched recently, which is good because you've got lots of numbers. But there's not huge amounts of nectar or that coming in just yet. Oh, that's all right. It is only a young hive. These are all pretty calm on here, just walking around with them. They're not trying to touch them anywhere. That's pretty cool. So when you go in too, and you go in between two frames, what I mean. The bees are choked out. So, just put that all good, picking it up. Yep. That one heavy. No, not really heavy. Yep, same again. Brood on this side, brood on your side too. Dark comb.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, all over your fingers are going for that honey.
Oh yeah, I just swept some of them off like so I can see them.
Yeah. Well, they'll also go all over that honey as well.
Mm.
Just gently. Very gentle. Usually, even without gloves on, if you're gentle, they won't sting. Like they'll actually try and bite at you before they'll try and sting you. I think there's some honey on there. They're after that as well. Same again. I'll take the camera. Otherwise, I always forget to go to my camera with stuff. You probably see that in a lot of my videos. There'll be a lot of me, and you can't hear me talking, and I'm away from the camera. And then I'll come back, and then later I'll explain what I'm doing. Yep. There's lots and lots and lots of lovely brood in this. Lots of honey up there in the top. So this outer frame that's here as well, which we'll have a look at in just a sec, the last frame, will most likely have honey in it, and maybe some pollen. We'll have to have a look and see. I think when Jeff was here, one of the frames was nearly full of pollen. It might have been this one, I'm not sure. Another beetle there. So this one you should be able to just put the hook under and get it. It's on the edge. See?
It's got a bit of weight to it.
Yeah, okay, so that's probably honey. So, excuse me, bee. Bee shots out of the way. Okay. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Any weight in it? Oh, yep. Lots and lots of honey. So they always store their honey to the outside. Like I said, it's like an insulator.
There's a bit of brood in this one.
Yep. Oh, yep. That's good. Yeah. That's good. Awesome. Cool.
Plenty of honey though.
Yeah, plenty of honey. Just honey we can't have. Honey is for the bees. Oh, okay. If you also look in here, if you look near this brood where this empty stuff is here, there's sort of a yellowy coloured stuff.
Yeah.
That's your pollen.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And what they've done is they've packed it in, and then they mix the honey with it, and they make what's a bee bread, and that's what they feed to the young.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's why they also bring pollen in, because the pollen is like their protein, and the honey is their carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Same as people. So it's all eggs, which is pretty cool. So yes, so some pollen there in the middle, at the bottom, and brood and lots of honey on this one. It's an outer frame. And this side's mostly honey. Cool. So we will leave this one to the outside. So, and we pulled it out this way, so we put it back in the same way. And the other reason that you do that is because, as I said, when you've got the frames and they've built the wax out in that funny shape, so as you see here, you've got it's out here, but in here it's concave.
Yeah.
So the two go together. If you took this, swapped it around, and put it in here, and put it against another one, they squash together. Yeah, that's right. So if we just push these across gently, like this, and the same thing on this one, because all these were together, like this. Now what we'll do is we're going to push that one that way. I think I'll put some smoke down there, just so we don't squish these ones here. Chase them away from the edges. Just give them a minute or so, or a little bit, and if it's clear, you can slowly pull that across to that other side there. Sorry about the smoke. Probably down the side of smoking, really. Don't tell Dad you're smoking. So you're just pushing across. A little bit sticky. This way. Now Now those frames were together and these two frames were together. But we're going to put the spare one in here between because we took that honey one out.
Yep.
So we just grab one of these. Doesn't matter which one. Okay, now if you gently put that one back down in there. It'll be easy because you've got no bees on yours. You just got to watch the other bees as you put it in. Now, a lot of beekeepers won't put an empty frame in the middle because obviously you want the queen to lay. But what it'll do is they have all this extra space now and this nice new fresh wax, and they have a space. So what they'll do, rather than come up in here so much, even though they will because you've got that honey frame there now, they'll work on this frame and start drawing it out, and then she can make more babies in there, and it gives her more space in the bottom. So that's the idea. We want to get their numbers up because there was this one had a little bit, then you had these two with brood, this one had brood, this one had a little bit of brood, and that one had a tiny bit of brood, and this one had a tiny bit. So and normally you put your empty frames on the outside and your honey on the outside, which insulates the hive. But I put an empty one in the middle because the bees then go, we've got all this space, let's make this, we'll draw it out, and it instantly gives the queen somewhere to lay her eggs. Rather than put it on the outside, what they'll end up doing is they'll fill it with honey before they go up here. So what they'll do is they'll work on this, but we've got a honey frame up here now, so they'll start working on this. They'll go, oh, we've got honey up here, we'll start working on these frames as well. So what we might do, if you can, if you've got that tool, if you just, on this edge, I'll just blow these bees back in here. But I'll go back. What you do, just in here between this frame and the box, if you just gently push those frames against those frames, you just sort of push them across. Just a little bit on this edge and then a little bit on this edge. You're just moving them so that it's closing up all the gaps. Right? And then you do the same on this side. So you're keeping that same bee space between them, but you're closing this one up here so that it's going to end up with the same amount of bee space when they actually draw their comb out. So you look and see this side, how close this side is compared to this side. So this side needs a little bit, so you come back this way again a little bit. It only has to be a couple more. Yeah, about that, yep. And then you do, I'll just put this in here. That one can come to see how close that is there on the corner. Yep, yeah, just a little bit, that's it. Now if you have a look, you've got that much space, that much. So all your room is on the outside.
Yeah.
So if anything, they're going to build all the honey out here.
Yeah.
That helps insulate the hive, as I said.
Yeah.
And because these are all close together, when they build all their wax in here, they're going to keep them all the same distance, so the bees will only go up and down where they have to go. Yep.
On my finger.
It will happen. Okay, so what we'll do now is pick up the queen excluder. And most of them are off the top here, which is pretty good. Oh, yeah, a bit sticky. So if you gently put that on there. Slow, there you go. Just make sure it's not perfect, but they don't make everything exactly the right size, which is a shame, but it's good because you've got a bit of leeway. So now that's on, no bees in the way. I can pick this up and put it straight on. Squish that beetle there. Okay, so we've already got that one frame in here with honey. So if we gently put this on, didn't squish any rows. Oh, good. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll have a look in here before we put those in. So we've got this frame here in the middle. Okay, so just push this over just a little bit. So it's good. I mean, we don't have honey we can take, but we know they're going to start up here, especially now we put this one in. So if you just start putting all your frames back in here, the bees will also smell that open honey. Oh, hang on, bring that out for a sec. There's a hive bee on that. There we go. Squishing. Yeah, don't want hive beetles. There's in there. Channel. That. You haven't got any bees to squish, which is good. Yep. So yeah, you just keep getting your frames and putting them in. Because these haven't got anything on them, it's not a problem. It's not like you've got to put them in any set order.
There's a hive bird at the bottom of this one.
Yeah. Yeah, there'll be a few. There was a lot in the bottom of this box when I pulled it off.
dead, but he's stuck in
Dead?
there.
That's, if he's dead, it's fine. It'll be a warning to all the others. Don't come in here. We don't want you in here. Yep, easy as that. Let me grab the next one. I would nearly reckon it might be a couple of months maybe before this will be full, but you'll probably still want to maybe check it again in a few weeks. So I can probably work out a day with your dad and come back up again. Getting them off's fun, isn't it? Little buggers. Oh, shoot fly. We don't want flies in there. No way, fly. Bees will chase them out anyway, but you don't want to put too many in there. I already hear them humming. Yep.
Should be good.
Yep. And the same as the bottom, you just check your bee space on each side and you just even up the frame so that's about the same gap this side as for that side. Yep, that's all good. Yep. Maybe that one back that way just a little bit. See, when they're not sticky, they just move really easy. So, yeah, no, that's cool. Shoot flies. Shoot flies. Yeah, I might try and chase them. Smoke it out. There you go. Still working. Oh, look at all those beetles. That's what I mean. The bees is chasing out. If I do this, because this is just a screen under here.
Yeah.
These are going to smell the smoke, that'll chase them up and away from the smoke. You might get some coming up into that silver. It may not either, it might not work. It might just think, oh, maybe it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. See, and then they'll find all these little bits of honey and they'll eat it all. They'll repurpose it and then it'll give them the incentive to come up. So it would have been nice to see lots of honey in here, but hey, bees do what bees do.
Yeah, exactly.
But the good thing is they are well. You've got lots of brood. Now, none of that comb looked like it was sunk in, and there wasn't any holes in the ends of the caps.
Yep.
So you don't have any problems with any sort of disease in there, which is good. So they're going well. So really, I probably didn't have to put this on when we were here last time, and they probably would have been maybe a little stronger, but the problem would have been is they may have put a lot more honey in the bottom.
Yeah.
Now we've put this one up here and they've got a spare frame. Hopefully they'll start coming up here to put honey. They'll start working all this out and building it out into honeycomb, putting honey in it. We'll see how they go. You could come back in 3 weeks. That frame might be full. They might have taken all the honey out of there, reused it down the bottom to make that other frame of comb. And then they might start reusing this or start working on these other frames. Okay. But it's a pretty strong hive. I reckon you've probably got in the vicinity of about 40 to 50,000 bees in there. It's a pretty good hive. When you get up to 60, 70, 80,000 bees, which you can get, doesn't happen a lot, you can. Like mine at home before I did this split, probably had close to 80 plus thousand bees. And I split it and made this box for your dad, for you, and then it's just grown. So realistically in 3 weeks, you've now got every frame drawn out in the bottom, except the one we just swapped.
Yeah.
So realistically you've got a full frame, full thing in the bottom, you've got one up here, and yeah, they'll just start filling it, which will be great. So I reckon if I come back in a bit, oh, one just slipped in there. You rotten little bugger. Because the lid's open, they got in. It's alright, bees will chase you down the bottom again. So we'll put the lid back on. Alrighty. Cool. That's awesome. We could even leave it for a month if you wanted to. It wouldn't have to come back straight away. But I reckon they're doing really well. So I'll get this strap and I'll put this back on over the top, see if I can make a mess of this, because I usually do. Yeah. Put that back onto there like that. Now, work out what I've done here. I think I had that on the top. That's where Jeff had it. And it's just, you're just nipping out. It's just to hold it together.
Yeah.
It's not to ratchet it down so it can't move at all, because we don't get super high winds and stuff.
Yeah.
And as you can,
Can't really move before.
oh, there's another beetle. So as you can, if you even look at the front now, like this is how calm your bees are. They're not in a big swarm around us and buzzing and trying to sting us. They're just sitting at the front. And if you sit here and look, you can see them. They're all just wandering in slowly. That one just coming out. This one's coming out. See how she's sort of looking at the front of the board? They actually keep this clean. This is like their runway or their doorway. It's like sweeping the front door, keeping the doormat clean. If you actually ever get here with a camera, if you want to, you can suit up if you want. And if you just sit here and you put your camera on slow motion, just video it for 5 minutes. I mean, it'll go for a long time, even a couple of minutes. And then if you go back and have a look at it, you look how clumsy they are. They'll fly in and they tumble and they fall. And you look, oh, they're coming in. But they're actually, it's like little acrobats. So all these bees that are coming in now, they're all the field bees coming back. So if we just sit here a little bit, you can watch them. They're coming in over the top of rows there, and they're sort of flying in here and coming in. So they'll be coming in. They'll give some of that nectar to the other bees, and they'll sample it. And if they like it, they'll do a little waggle dance. If I'd seen that, I would have shown you, but I didn't see any. And it's really cool when you see that because they do their little dance, and all the bees, because they do it in there, it's actually in the dark. They can't see what's going on in there. So they've got to feel the vibration by the direction that they turn and how fast they go determines how far or how close it is, and they dance in the direction of the sun.
Oh, yeah.
So the bees then go, okay, well the sun's that way and it's 2 k's, and they'll fly out. But if they go, oh, it's 10 k's, but this other bee's got one and it's only 2 k's, they'll probably go to the 2 k because they don't want to fly all the way to 10 k's if it's too far for them. Because the other thing is, the further they fly, the further they could come back, and they do consume some of the nectar on their way back. They're cool little things.
Yeah.
So these ones at the front are watching to make sure. Where's the beetle? Oh, just took off. Okay, so the ones at the front there are watching as they come in. See, she just sort of lifted her front legs, just checking the bees as they come in. And if she doesn't like the bee, she doesn't let it come in. So she's like a guard bee. They all get different duties, and she'll wander off, and maybe she'll take off and come back. Pretty cool, hey?
Yeah.
Will we tell Dad you tried the honey? You have to suit up if you want any in, so we can get it out of the hive for you. It's not enough to do anything with. Oh yeah, got a little friend on me again.
I've got a fly on me.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Alright, off you go, little bee. So how's your first bee adventure? Is it all good?
Yeah, it was very
It's
good.
not hard, is it? It's all pretty easy stuff. Yeah. So yeah, beekeeping's easy and it's fun. And you learn all the time. I'm still learning stuff. I've been doing this since I was about 14-ish when I got my very first beehive. Actually, Rose and I found a photo of that the other day. I found a photo in a photo album. It's a photo of the top of my beehive open and all the bee frames and all the bees on top. I think it's the only photo I've got of my beehive from when I was younger. So yeah, but yeah, I reckon they're cool little creatures.
Yeah, they are.
And the great thing is, with me, they're like pets because I look after them. I've only got the 1 or 2 hives. I'm not a commercial guy. I try to be careful. I try not to squash them. I do occasionally apologise for them. They probably think I'm mad talking to them, but that's what I do. But you know, they're just great little things. And yeah, they're just everywhere, aren't they? You got a lot of beetles here. Maybe I'll make up a beetle trap one and I'll bring that up and we'll change the base over. Do that. Oh no, right.
Probably got a bee.
Yep, there, another beetle. Yep. Yeah, so whenever you want, you can pop that out and have a look. Cool. You like the new suit?
I do.
Good, you can keep it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll let you have that. Not a problem. So you got a bee tool and a bee suit. And you just got to get a smoker. I can't give you that. That's the only one I got.
That's
So,
right.
yeah. So that'll be something your dad will have to do. What I might do, I'll do up a list. I might even text it to him
Yep.
of the things that you need for this. And like I even said to your mum, you can even change this out and you can put a flow hive on top.
Yeah.
The only thing is you'll have to paint it. Won't have all this stunning artwork. If you're going to put a flow hive on, you can do two things. You can actually put it on top again, which makes it a really big hive. Or you can take this off, you can harvest it the normal way. You can put those frames, if you've got one, you can have a deep freezer. You can put those frames when you've extracted them into a deep freezer and it'll keep. And that way there's no bugs can get in it, there's no larvae in it, nothing can, no wax moths, nothing can get in it. And because you've kept them in the deep freezer, you can keep them there for a couple of years. If you then want to use them later, like say you get to a point where the ones in the bottom here get really dark, the comb gets really dark and you want to rotate them out, what you can do is you just slowly move those frames like we did before. Like we pulled one out, we put it on the outside, you just make sure your gaps are good and you get your older frames to the outside. You can take 3 or 4 inspections before you can get them from the middle to the outside. And then the comb on the outside is really old, but they fill that with honey. And then what you can do is you can pull that out, you can extract that honey, and then if you want to, you can cut all that comb out, throw it away, and then you can put fresh comb in, or you can, if it's like these frames in the bottom, they don't have that foundation stuff, you can just cut it out and put the empty frame in. And you put it in between 2 frames, and then the bees will actually use those as a guide, and they'll just draw the comb down nice and straight. And then you'll have another nice bit of wax, and they'll lay nice fresh wax so you can lay in again. You don't have to do that a lot. Some people have the same wax in their hives for years. I know some beekeepers have got it in there for 10 years or more. But you've got to remember the wax actually takes on anything the bees bring in. If they get pesticides or anything like that, that'll actually end up in the wax.
Yeah.
You usually don't get it into the honey. It doesn't usually affect you. But over a long time it can affect the bees. And that's why you get your old frames and you work them out and then you can cut them out. And you just get rid of the wax, or you can melt it down, you can make candles out of it, you can make lip balms, all sorts of stuff you can do with it. There's tons of stuff you can do. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Alright, new suit, got the tool, you're all good, you're happy, everything's working. Smoker's still going, look at that. First time I've had my smoker and it's run the whole time and it's still going on the finish. I'm going to have to put water on it to put that out. That's all right. Well, at least we didn't have to use anything in here, which is good. Okay. Yeah, and like I said, like your dad and your mum can look at it if they want to get a flow hive. All they have to do, like I said, you can take this off and put it on, and then literally once they fill it with honey, you can just bring the honey out the back of it. We can go through that as well. If you want to have it as 2 honey supers, you can put the other one either on top, or you put it here and then put this one on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then that'll force the bees to work the comb in the middle. That's a good way of doing it. A lot of people run them instead of running just one on the bottom for the babies, they'll run 2. So you take the excluder out, and then you can have the queen run through the whole lot. That's if you want it, and you get a really big hive. You can have 120,000 plus bees. And then when your flow hive goes on, you probably have to empty it every week because they'll literally fill it. But it doesn't always happen though. I've seen other people that have done it, put it on, and it's been on there for 6 months and they don't get any honey in them. You just got to be patient because bees will do what they want to do. We could come back next time. They may still not even do anything in here. There might be that one frame still sitting in there. And we'll go, oh. And all they've done is worked on the bottom one. It's up to what they want to do. You can't really force them. But by moving that frame, that's given them we can come up in here. And they're going to get more bees. As you've seen, there's lots of brood in there still to hatch, and they've got a lot of open cells there that she's laying in. She'll fill all them again, and they'll get more and more bees, and they'll have to start moving up. And because that honey's up there, it gives them an excuse. And it's not a completely sealed frame. It has got open frame, so they can still get that honey and bring it down to the babies. Or they can use that to then make them produce more wax, because they produce the wax in a little gland on their chest, and then they can use that to make more honeycomb. Pretty cool.
Very nice.
Alrighty. Alright, well, buy these, have fun, and we'll head back up.
Mate on you.
Oh, I got a little friend. Hey, what are you doing there? Hey, are you alive? What are you doing?
Yeah,
Yep. Hello, yeah, that's it. I didn't see many boy bees in there. And the boy bees are really cool because if you ever want to practice picking up a queen, because sometimes you have to pick up a queen if you want a marker or whatever, if you're wearing gloves, it's very hard. If you don't have a little bee cage. What you can do with a drone, because you're not worried about the drones, and you lose them anyway, they don't have a stinger.
Oh, don't
So
they?
the cool thing is, they're big and they're noisy. And if you have one of them, you hear them, they're buzzing really loud, and you can actually grab hold of them, and if you squish it, squish one. So you know next time, don't squeeze so hard. So you can get another drone, and you can grab it, and you can hold it, and you can feel it. If you haven't got gloves on, which I wouldn't suggest for a little while, you can you get a feel with your fingers of how much you need to actually touch them. Oh, look at that. No, it's on my head. Yeah, I would have got to the car and it would have jumped off and tried to get me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, little bee, let's hop now. Hop on there. No, hop on your beehive. No, on the beehive, not on my finger. No, get off. Oh, she doesn't want to leave me alone. Oh, there she is. Alrighty. Oh, that's the hard part done. We're done for another one. Tune in next week. If only my show was that big, but I'm not. No. Alright, leave that stand there. There. You want to grab the other camera, Rose? You can handle it. Still not talking to me. Alright. Does Mum need me to move the car? Oh, I'm just going to go around. Oh, that's alright then. Cool. Alrighty. You're just going to stand there? Oh, that's alright. Just watching the bees.